What's going on, everybody, and welcome to part 5 of our Artificial Intelligences in StarCraft II with Python tutorial series. In this video, hopefully, we can secure our very first victory. And the way we're going to do it is we're already started building our army, and now all we have to do is get some logic built to attack the enemy, basically. And our hope is that the enemy will be easy enough that we can do this with pretty simple logic. So with that, really all we need to add in, like we're already building our army, so the only thing that we need to add in is await self.attack. So some sort of logic that we can employ to actually attack the enemy. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do async def attack, passing in self. And what are our rules going to be for actually attacking? So we probably, like, you don't want to like attack with every new stalker that you create. So instead what we're going to do is once we have a certain number of these stalker units, we're going to send them into battle. So we could go with anything. I think I'll start maybe with 10 or something like that. So if self.units stalker, that should be all caps, stalker, dot amount is greater than, I think I'll do 5. So if we have more than 5 stalkers, what we're going to want to do is send them into battle. So we're going to say for s, so stalker, in self.units stalker, and we want to do stalkers that aren't currently doing something. So we're going to say idle. So the ones that are idle, what we want them to do for s, what we want them to do is await self.do. So this is kind of like the overarching agent, self.do, and we want to make s attack, and we want to make them, now you have to, like, when you say attack, they have to choose, like, what are we actually going to attack. So we're just going to attack, so you can do like self.known enemy units. So we saw that before. Again, that's a method that exists inside of bot AI. So that's like up here, I think. Yeah, known enemy units. So let's say we see an enemy unit. We know we can attack them. So we're gonna just we're just gonna look for one of those. So if we have greater than 5, let's just go ahead and attack an enemy unit. And the way that we're going to do that is, this is like a list, self.known enemy units. So we actually want to do something like random.choice of known enemy units. That didn't close off. Okay. So before I forget, let me go ahead and import random up here. Okay. Now that's all fine and dandy, but there might not actually be any known enemy units. So the other thing that we could say is, let's see, random choice. Well, let's go ahead and run this actually, and let's just, we'll say real-time false, and we'll just see if they'll actually go after any of the attackers against us. I forget how many I picked. Was it 10? That's probably too many for if we're under attack. That might take way too long to get us up to 10. So we probably would want to change that logic slightly. So there's a few things that we probably need to consider. Hopefully, let's see, maybe we'll get away with building enough. I don't think we will. Let me see here. What do we choose? Oh no, we only chose 5. So it will only take 5. So we already have 5. So as soon as an enemy shows up, we should see these little guys run off and go. Yeah, there they go. So we're already under attack here. Okay, so they're already defending us, destroying the enemy. Uh-oh. Oh, darn, we went down. What do we do? Can't choose from an empty sequence. Darn. Okay, so probably what we should do is like for S. So what we should say is we probably don't even need to check this. So like if, so what we could say is if len self.known underscore enemy units, if that length is greater than 0. So if that's more than 0, let's go get them. Okay. So that's a good like defensive strategy, like figuring out who do we want to attack locally, right? But then we might want to we might actually want to do something more like if we have a large enough army, we'd like to probably seek out our enemies. So like if self.units stalker.amount is greater than, let's say, 15. So if we have more than 15 of these stalkers, what we're going to say is, we'll just copy this line here. So for each of those idle stalkers, what we should do is find something to attack. So now we're going to probably we're going to have to make a new function, I think. But what we'll say is, so for each of those stalkers, what we're going to do is we're going to await self.do s.attack. And then again, we need to attack something. And in this time, we're going to say self.find target. And then we're going to pass self.state. So this will just be like the game state, basically. So then I'm going to go above here, and I'm going to write this find target function. So def find target. And this is just a simple function. And in this case, we'll take in, method. And we're going to take in self and then the game state that we're passing in. And what we're going to do is like, so first of all, we're going to say if len of self.known enemy units, if that's greater than 0, let's go ahead and just attack the known enemy units. So we're just going to say return random.choice self.known enemy units. So if we know about some sort of enemy unit, we're going to go for those first. And then what we're going to do is elif len self.known enemy structures. So if we can't find any units to attack, we're going to go for the structures themselves. So if that's greater than 0, we're going to return random.choice self.known enemy structures. And then finally, else we're going to return self.enemy start location, the 0th. So in this case, we only have one enemy, so it's going to be the 0th enemy. But this is how we're gonna opt for, like, we just want to go and attack, right? So once we have a large enough army, we're just going to go after all the known enemy units, and then we're going to go after all the known enemy buildings. And if we don't know about any of the enemy buildings, so if we haven't seen anything about our enemy yet, we're just going to be like, well, we know where the enemy started, so we're going to go seek them out at their start location, and I guarantee we're going to find something there, right? So in this case, if this is the case, we go ahead and do this, and then this should probably be an elif down here. So if we have a large enough army, we're going to do army things. We're going to just seek out the enemy and destroy. If we don't have an army, but we have enough units, and I think I'll change this actually to 3. If we have enough units to like somewhat defend ourselves, we'll go ahead and do that. So the next thing I want to do before we do this is we want to be able to have enough gateway buildings. So here's our offensive force buildings. And what we want to do is we want to build that cybernetics core. So if self, let's see, pylon. I kind of want to just like rewrite this function, but basically what we want to do is we're going to build the cybernetics core if this exists, if not this. So probably what we should do is if self.gateway already exists, I think what I'd like to do is maybe do, because we want to grab the pylon, and then it's hard to decide if I want to build, because you want to build a cybernetics core as soon as you have a gateway, but then you also Build cybernetics core. If not, cybernetics core. So maybe if a gateway exists and not cybernetics core, we want to go ahead and do this. Okay, so if we have a gateway already and we don't have a cybernetics core, build the cybernetics core. If we can't afford a gateway and we're not already pending on a gateway, build a gateway. So what I don't understand is why we don't have like infinite gateways being built at this stage. But I'm just going to say elif len self.units gateway if that length is less than or equal to 3. So if we have less than, or rather what we should say is just less than 3. So let's build 3 gateways. So if the length of however many gateways we have is less than 3, if we can afford a gateway and we're not already building one, let's go ahead and build a gateway. So hopefully we will have 3 gateways to build all of our forces. So let's go ahead, save that, and let's run that. Let's see what happens. That's a lot of logic that we've kind of swapped around. Please, no error. Okay, we're off. We're building the geysers. Here's a pylon. Here's one of the gateways. Now, at some point, we should build our cybernetics core and another gateway, hopefully. Yep, there's another gateway. Lovely, lovely. Okay, we're producing our stalkers. Here comes in a 3rd gateway for us. Awesome. Pay attention to the mini-map here, and we'll see if we get attacked, because we have 2. Now, we've already got 3 things. These are actually some decently built pylons. These are too close to each other. Okay, we're still building up our army. As soon as we're under attack, we're definitely going to go after them. But probably pretty soon. We already have 9, 12. Okay, they're off. It looks like they just went and attacked somebody. They just came over here and maybe over here? Nope, just over here. So pretty soon these guys are all going to run towards the enemy, hopefully. Yeah, looks like they're off to the enemy location because I didn't see any. So here we are at the enemy. I'm not sure if we're like frozen or what. Or did we loot? Yeah, I think we just got frozen or something. So we're definitely at the enemy base, just kind of trying to take them out now. Looks like it's probably game over for the enemy at this stage. They're doing their best to like repair their little building as we destroy it. They're actually building it quickly. Okay, the AI already wants to surrender, but no thank you. It's just more enjoyable to destroy. At some point, I believe everything just gets revealed if you destroy, like especially like their main like command center area. I'm not really sure what it's called for the Terran. I forget. I believe when that thing is destroyed, though, eventually they'll get like all their stuff is revealed, and then we can find them very simply. It looks like it's a game over, though. Victory! Nice. So we actually defeated the easy bot pretty easily. Okay, so now what we could try to do is the medium bot. We'll just see how that goes. And then while we're kind of waiting on that, I just kind of want to point out already how many variables have entered into this that we could significantly optimize. So for example, you know, how much supply we have left before we build a pylon. We could optimize that. I'm just going to kind of move this over as I'm talking. So we could already optimize that kind of stuff, how close we want to do. We sort of could. Eventually, there's probably just a perfect number there. How much expansion should we make? That should be optimized quite significantly. Sorry, I'm just waiting. Eventually, we are going to have, like, we're going to either get attacked or attack. But anyways, but this probably shouldn't be like a fixed number. It depends how far we are into the game. How big is our army? How many resources do we have? Like, this needs to be way more complicated. The offensive forces, how many gateways do we build? That's probably a good idea to go ahead and stretch that out. Looks like we probably already had some combat because these guys are kind of over. Anyway, and then other things too, like what kind of ratio should we have of like workers to attackers? And then probably eventually we're going to need to have like multiple different attack types. So, like we just have these little stalkers, but the other kind of type is the void ray is another good one that I wouldn't mind trying out at some point, because that thing actually flies and has it does a lot of damage, but it's super weak. But if you calculated like DPS over health basically, so how much damage can this thing do to how quickly can it die, it's a pretty good ratio. Plus it flies, so that's always a benefit. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to defeat this medium boss, or medium AI. Oh gosh, I accept victory. Okay, surely if we go to like hard, surely we're not going to defeat the hard one, right? Like I demand a slightly bigger challenge. I wonder if maybe some people have them posted or something, like a much harder AI that we could compete against, especially if we beat this hard one already. That's going to be kind of a bummer. I expect greater challenges, dang it. Because there's definitely a lot more for us that we have to actually consider here. And there's a lot more things I'd like to explore. So hopefully I can't beat the hard one yet. Also, it's probably going to vary slightly, like how free, like you might win the medium, 80% of the time or something, but you're still going to lose sometimes. But we'll see. We'll see how we do. Looks like we're already under attack, maybe. Huh. I'm not sure. I think that whatever it was got destroyed so fast. Also, is that not what's going on over there? I can't really tell. Hopefully, surely we'll have enough. Oh, see ya. Faster, please. Okay, their army is definitely a little larger now. We may not make it through this. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I think we actually win. Oh, man. Is that like a perfect... did anybody survive? I think everybody lost. It's okay. We're sending in more reinforcements. Man, I'm going to be bummed out if we defeat this guy. Yeah, the other interesting thing, first of all, like if we made more expansions, like probably at this stage of the game, you might as well expand to over here. Here we go. Looks like they're going in for an attack. One thing that probably would have been smarter is if they clumped up together rather than going in like little groups like this. Okay, yeah, probably they have us now. Now we're just sending in one at a time. This is pretty unfortunate. He's not going to last very long doing that. Yeah, so probably we're not... Wow, yeah, their army is just bigger than ours. So at some point, you probably want to build more gateways and produce more units and all that. Like our resource, we have tons of resources. Like we could definitely be making a much larger army at this point. Okay, anyway, I don't think we're going to win. Eventually, they're going to sick that army on us, and like we're constantly like using up our entire group of attackers, and they're defeating us every time. So eventually they will come and just destroy us. Apparently that's just going to take a while. Also, the other thing to keep in mind too is like as we keep creating these, like we keep creating workers, like we have no limit on how many workers we're going to create. So eventually we're not even going to have space for enough of these like stalkers and stuff. So okay, so we're definitely not going to beat the hard one. It might take a while. I'm just not going to waste your time. Jeez, look at the size of their little army. We probably didn't even see the whole thing. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, So more to continue, because we definitely aren't going to beat the hard one. If you got questions, comments, concerns, whatever, feel free to leave them below. Yeah, it looks like they're actually attacking us. We are probably going to lose here. I don't want to see it. How do I forfeit a match? It's not looking good, guys. It is not looking good. Anyways, more to come. Questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, whatever, feel free to leave them below. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe, sponsor, all that. You can also go to pythonprogramming.net/support for more options. Otherwise, I will see you guys in another video.